What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be predicting NXT Stand and Deliver. I was thinking of doing something between now and WrestleMania because I'm going to be predicting and reviewing those shows as well. And I feel like this is actually something I could. It's kind of something to do in between that time period. Just by looking at the card, it actually does seem like a pretty solid show. So I'm going to be predicting it right now. If you enjoy this, hit the like button, subscribe, all that stuff. I always forget to say that. I actually could be doing some when I say that. Whatever. Let's go. First thing I'm going to talk about is the pre-show match. Is a 10-person tag team match with Hank and Tank, Eli Knight, Shiloh Hill, and Ren Sinclair versus Birthright. I almost forgot who was in this match. This is, first of all, unless I missed something on NXT, how did the five babyfaces team together? Like, what correlation do they have between each other? I'm genuinely curious. I feel like this was, hey, let's just take five babyfaces and put them against Birthright. Because I don't know what do Shiloh Hill and Eli Knight have with each other? How is Ren Sinclair even involved in this? I don't know. Babyface is probably going to win this, though, unless they want to make Birthright look strong. This is going to be the make the crowd happy type of match. Do a little, this match probably be under 10 minutes. Get the crowd going. Babyface is going to win. This is, before the show, so they're probably going to, like I said, Babyface is probably going to win this to kind of get the crowd going. I'm doing this by how Wikipedia is going through this, so some of these matches might not be in the correct order. But next match I'm going to talk about is Vanity Project versus Los Americanos for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This one's pretty interesting because it's like a main roster tag team going for the titles. I mean, I think Vanity Project retains here. This is one of those things where, like, I don't really care if either outcome happens. The thing with Los Americanos is that they're, like, a comedy tag team, and I think they actually have done really good in that role. Like, the whole El Grande Americano and Los Americanos thing was destined to fail, and I applaud Ludwig and Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne for actually doing really well in that role. But I feel like them being the tag team champions would be kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, R-Truth and Damian Priest are the champions on SmackDown, so I don't know. But this is kind of a way to, I assume this is a way for Vanity Project to get a win against a main roster tag team. It doesn't really matter on the place of the card, honestly. But I feel like, yeah, Vanity Project should win. I don't like them at all, I'll be honest. It's not even, like, heel heat where, it's not even heat where I want to watch it to where I want them to lose. I turn the TV off when they're on the screen. Like, it's that type of thing. I don't know. I don't like that they're the champions. I don't like seeing them at all. Honestly, I feel like giving them back to Dark State would be cool. Giving them to OTM. They haven't even been champions yet. I feel like that would be really cool. The fans like OTM. I feel like they could be doing so many other things. That's probably for a later show, honestly. I don't know. But yeah, I have Vanity Project retaining this. Next match on the card is Miles Bourne and Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. Yeah, I have Miles Bourne retaining here. I think this is a way to put Miles Bourne over, having him face a guy that's previously done a lot in NXT, and giving him that big win. I don't think Johnny wins here. I don't think there's a reason for him to win. I don't think it does anything for anybody. They're still doing that storyline with Johnny where he's like all depressed, which I don't understand at all. I don't understand why they're doing it. It's the most insane contrast with him and Tommaso Ciampa, with what they're doing with Johnny Gargano on WWE and what they're doing with Tommaso Ciampa on AEW. It's like genuinely crazy. But I feel like here's the thing: the match will be solid, and I think that's a thing to mention here. Also, like 3 years ago, I'm pretty sure they also did this. Like Johnny Gargano comes back to NXT to be on the basically WrestleMania of NXT. They did that with, like I said, 3 years ago in 2023. I think they did that. So I think it's kind of interesting. They're just doing the same thing again. But yeah, I think like the only purpose of this match is for Miles Bourne to get that big win. Basically, just put him over. I think that's it. Like I said, it'll be solid. I hope it advances the storyline with Johnny Gargano with the whole, like, him being depressed thing, so that can end and then they actually do something with him later. if they actually do anything with Johnny Gargano, which I don't think they will, but if they have him actually do something in the mid card on SmackDown, because obviously this like the whole stuff with Ilya and Carmelo and Trick and stuff like that's really cool. But if they actually added new people, I think that'd be cool. Adding Johnny Gargano to that, especially with matches with like Carmelo and Ilya, like I just said, that would be really solid. But yeah, like I said, I have Miles retain here. Next match I'm going to talk about is JC Jane versus Kendall Gray versus Lola Vice for the NXT Women's Championship. This match was made a triple threat after the whole thing that happened on NXT with the whole tap out and pin thing. I think that was actually really well done. I don't know who's going to win this, but I will say it's either going to be Lola or Kendall Gray. I think JC Jane, you can move her up to main roster, and I think it would actually be really cool. Like, she has done the evolution with her character has been really well done. I think she's actually really good as a heel. I think her work has been really solid too. I think Lola wins here though. I don't think Lola's won a title on NXT, like just in general. Not even the North American title, not the women's title. I think this is where they kind of give her that moment because they've given her a lot of like title shots and they haven't given her the title. I think this is where they actually do it because the fans like her. She's pretty damn good. I think, like I said, giving it to Kendall would also be pretty interesting because she's also kind of over. And I think that, I'll tell you right now, whether who wins, if it's Lola or Kendall Gray, I'll be fine with it because I'm a pretty big fan of both of them. I don't think JC Jane retains though, and I will say that. This match will be solid. Next match I'm going to talk about is Sol Ruca versus Zarya. This match is very interesting just because of the promo that happened on NXT. Zarya is supposed to be the heel, and Sol is supposed to be the babyface. They had a promo on NXT where Zarya kind of explained herself, and it made Zarya the babyface and Sol Ruca the heel. People started booing Sol while the promo was happening, and it was very interesting. I think Zarya is going to win this, by the way. I think this is a case of Zarya gets the big win over Sol Ruca, and Sol Ruca goes to main roster. I think, unless they want to, because they see a lot of stuff, like, Triple H sees a lot of stuff in Sol Ruca, I assume. Or the people, that work for the main roster see a lot of stuff in her. She was on the Evolution show. She was on Saturday Night's Main Event on the John Cena retirement. They had her beat Bayley on that show. She's been in spots on SmackDown before. I think that it's going to be a case where Zarya gets that big win on Sol Ruca, and then Sol Ruca goes to main roster. But yeah. I think, and I assume this leads to Zarya doing a lot more stuff after that win over Sol Ruca, unless they want to do that feud, and unless they want to keep doing the feud. And I think that, like I said, Zarya will probably win this. I think Sol Ruca goes to main roster when she loses, kind of puts her over. Next match on the card is Tatum Paxley versus Blake Monroe for the NXT Women's North American title. This match I'm very conflicted on because I genuinely do not know who's going to win this. I could see both ways going here, and that's something pretty interesting. I kind of want Tatum Paxley to win this because she's kind of been champion for, I think 2 months now. She hasn't done much with it. When she had the reign as a women's champion, she didn't hold it for that long. Kind of just lost it back to JC Jane. I think this is something where Tatum Paxley can actually have a longer reign while also having defenses. I think giving it to Blake Monroe, also, I also see that as a possibility. Like I said, I don't know who's going to win this, and honestly, both outcomes I wouldn't be surprised with. Here's the thing, I'm a big fan of Tatum Paxley. I think it would be really cool to actually see her hold the title for a longer time. And, like I said, I will say this match will actually be really good, too. I think the story has been pretty solid. In terms of, like I said, it's going to be good. I think Tatum Paxley wins, but also if Blake wins, I would not be shocked. I think both ways are possible here. Last match on the card, 4-way for the NXT Championship. Joe Hendry, Tony D'Angelo, Ricky Saints, and Ethan Page in a 4-way. I think it'd be really funny if Tony won this. He's been on NXT. I'm pretty sure he was on NXT when it was still in the 2.0 era, which I'm pretty sure was about 4 years ago. He has been on NXT for so goddamn long, and he is still in a prominent position. He could have been on main roster like a year ago, and it would have been completely fine. That would have been overdue at that point. I'm just saying, Braun Breaker has been on main roster for 2 years, and him and Braun Breaker were in that same class. I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know. I think I'll say this right now: all four of these guys, you can put them on main roster literally like tomorrow, and it would be completely fine. Like they all, any four of them can be on Raw or even SmackDown. It would be completely fine. I don't think Ethan or Ricky wins this because I think they're gonna feud at some point. I don't know who's gonna be the face though. I feel like that'd be kind of because I think both of them are really really good as heels. I think honestly, I think Joe Hendry wins this. I think he retains. I don't. Like I said, I don't see them giving Tony the. Like I said, I don't know. Joe Hendry has been in NXT for like not that much time. I mean, he's like always like been there like at points, but he has been like signed to WWE for not that much time. Ricky and Ethan Page both can go to main roster, literally like I said on Raw or SmackDown next week, and it would be completely fine. Tony D'Angelo, like I just said, has been on NXT for so goddamn long. I think, like I said, I think Joe Hendry retains and then starts feuding with someone else. I think this will lead to Ethan Page and Ricky Saints both feuding with each other. I don't know. This match is kind of conflicting. Honestly, like I said, knowing what they're doing with Tony D'Angelo, I wouldn't be shocked if he wins. Honestly, he's been on NXT for so long, and just like he's the Case Keenum of he's the Trace McSorley and the Case Keenum of NXT. He's gonna be in the developmental for fucking 5 years and then go to main roster. Like it's I don't know. Just to say this, I have Joe Hendry retaining, and I think he'll hold that belt for some time. I don't know who he loses it to. The NXT men's division is not really that. I think those four people are like the four people that are like in that main event level. I don't know. They'll probably have Joe lose it to someone that like they kind of build up, which I think is a really cool thing. Yeah, I got Joe winning this, regardless. That being said, those are my predictions for NXT Stand Deliver. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, like I just said. What's the one motto we always got to follow, though? Fuck the Canes. See ya.